9 hidden signs she's crazy about you. Number 2 is shocking. Old Stoic Wisdom. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Carl Jung. Too many men waste years chasing loud signals, grand declarations of love, over-the-top attention, flashy signs. But here's the truth. Real desire doesn't shout, it whispers. You've been taught to look for the obvious, the big moves, the confession. But women rarely operate that way, especially the ones who feel something real. Her interest is expressed in quieter, more intimate ways. A brief pause before she looks away. The way she positions her body ever so slightly toward you when she doesn't have to. A spark in her eye that only appears when you're speaking. These moments are not random. They are precise, intentional, but most men miss them completely. Think about it. Right now, there could be a woman in your daily life, at work, in the gym, your local coffee shop, who's completely intrigued by you. She's not playing games. She's simply drawn to your energy, your presence, the quiet way you carry yourself. But unless you know what to notice, you'll walk right past her and never know she was hoping you'd see her. Here at Stoicismwin, we don't peddle gimmicks. We teach men how to perceive the world with clarity. We take the timeless principles of Stoic thought, self-awareness, observation, grounded masculinity, and pair them with real-world psychology and behavioral science. That's where the magic happens. After years of research and lived experience, we have uncovered 9 subtle yet undeniable signs that a woman is deeply interested. These cues fly under the radar of the average man, but once you know them, you won't be able to unsee them. And here's the kicker. These signs aren't about pickup tricks or surface-level seduction. They're about connection, chemistry, trust, the kind of things that don't fade over time, they grow. So if you're tired of guessing, tired of feeling like you're always missing something, tired of trying to decode mixed signals, this is your wake-up call. Let's dive into the 9 hidden signs she's crazy about you. Some will surprise you. One might already be happening. That one just might flip your entire perspective. Sign number 1, the copycat effect. They say actions speak louder than words, but what if I told you that some actions whisper just loud enough for only the truly observant to hear? One such subtle whisper is what psychologists call the copycat effect, and while it may sound trivial at first, it holds one of the most powerful hidden signs that she's crazy about you. Now, this isn't just about her sipping her drink when you do or matching your posture out of politeness. No, this runs deeper, right into the biology of attraction itself. When a woman is genuinely drawn to a man, her subconscious often overrides conscious behavior and begins to mirror his gestures, pace of speech, and even patterns of breathing. It's not something she does on purpose. It's a primal form of bonding rooted in the psychology of trust and desire. Picture yourself sitting with her in a cozy cafe, the kind of place where the hum of background music is barely audible over the connection forming between two people. As you lean in to make a point or subtly run a hand through your hair, she does the same almost reflexively, not because she's copying you out of intent, but because her body is attuned to yours. This kind of synchronicity is a powerful indicator that her interest is not superficial, it's visceral. According to a landmark study from the University of California, romantic pairs exhibit up to 72% more mirroring behaviors than platonic friends, and the quicker the response time, the more intense the underlying attraction. It's as though her body is trying to keep up with yours, staying in rhythm with every subtle move you make. The old Stoics believed that human behavior is shaped by unseen forces, our inner nature responding to the world around us. And in this case, her mirroring behavior is one of those forces. To test it, all you need is 10 minutes of observation. First, sit back and take note of her default posture for a few minutes, arms crossed, leaning forward, fidgeting, whatever feels natural to her. Then, deliberately change your posture, Perhaps lean back, cross your legs, or adjust your watch. If she makes similar movements within a short window, that's not just mimicry, it's instinctive alignment. Next, perform a couple of subtle gestures. Touch your face, scratch your chin, shift your drink, and see if she follows suit within 30 seconds. That timing is key because it tells you what her conscious mind might not yet be ready to admit. She's drawn to you. And here's where the real magic happens. If she mirrors you instantly, that means she's not just attracted, she's deeply engaged, likely without even realizing how much. However, even if her reactions come with a delay, say 30 to 60 seconds, don't dismiss it. In fact, that might be even more telling. It indicates an internal struggle between her desire and her guard, her body responding naturally while her mind tries to maintain control. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." In this case, her body is betraying the truth her words might still be hiding. What most dating coaches won't mention is that mirroring is a two-way street. When you start matching her pace of breathing, subtly mimic her gestures, and reflect her energy back, you're not just passively observing her, you're deepening the bond. You're sending subconscious cues that say, "I see you, I understand you." This is a technique known in ancient rhetoric as rapport building, and it's still just as effective today. Use it wisely, because it's like tuning a radio frequency. You either find perfect harmony or you risk static noise. In real life, this can be incredibly powerful. Maybe you're divorced and getting back into dating after years away, or perhaps you're in a long-term relationship and want to reconnect with your partner on a deeper level. Understanding these signals can radically shift how you interpret interactions and make more meaningful connections. Just think how many signs you may have missed over the years simply because you didn't know how to read them. As Epictetus advised, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. In this case, listening with your eyes, watching body language, can give you far more truth than words ever will. So here's the real question. Have you ever felt that strange sensation that someone was in sync with you, even if you couldn't explain why? Maybe it was during a deep conversation or in a moment of shared silence, but something told you she was truly there with you. Not just physically, but emotionally. That's the copycat effect at work. If you've experienced it, or now start to notice it after this insight, don't ignore it. Lean in, literally and metaphorically. Take that moment as a sign to engage deeper, to express more honestly, and to meet her on that same subconscious level where connection is real and raw. Because when attraction speaks in silence, it's the wisest man who learns to listen. And remember, real connection isn't about flashy lines or superficial charm. It's about resonance. So now I turn it to you. Have you seen this in your own experiences? Have you ever noticed someone mirroring you and wondered what it meant? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear your stories. Let's build a space where men like us can get wiser together and better at reading the unspoken truths that relationships are built on. Sign number 2, the eyes that linger. There's an old saying among Stoic thinkers, the eyes are not only the window to the soul, but the messenger of hidden truths. And when it comes to love, especially the kind that isn't shouted from rooftops or declared over candlelit dinners, those eyes become your clearest sign. If you've ever caught her looking at you, not just once, not in passing, but lingering, long enough for it to feel like the moment stretched, it's no accident. That look, gentlemen, is one of the 9 hidden signs she's crazy about you. It's in the way her gaze settles on you across a crowded room or holds steady when she thinks you're not watching. It's not the stare of curiosity, it's the gaze of admiration. And what's remarkable is how often men overlook this. We brush it off, assume we imagined it, or rationalize it away. But that's where Stoic wisdom whispers to us again. Don't just see, observe. Don't rush to respond, reflect. In the modern world filled with distractions, notifications, deadlines, and to-do lists, it's easy to miss the subtle signs. Yet the truth hides in these quiet, powerful moments. Her eyes linger because her heart leans forward, and once you begin to notice this with mindful awareness, it's like seeing the world in colour after living in black and white. The second sign, and this one often takes men by surprise, is how she remembers things you didn't even know you said. A throwaway comment about your childhood dog, a passing mention of your favourite band from the 80s. Suddenly, she sends you a link to a song you once loved, or buys a small gift that reflects something you mentioned months ago. This is not just thoughtfulness, it's devotion masked in detail. Women who are genuinely drawn to you don't just listen. They store, cherish, and weave those tiny fragments of you into their own mental landscape. It's shocking to some because we live in a world where people are half present, eyes on their phone, mains already elsewhere. But when someone is emotionally invested, their attention becomes sacred. Stoic philosophers spoke about the rare power of attention and how where you place it is where your values lie. So if she remembers your words, even when you've long forgotten them, it's a sign her heart is keeping track of yours. Let that humble you, and let it remind you to pay the same kind of attention in return. Next, consider the way she supports your ambitions, even when they don't directly benefit her. She encourages you to chase that side project, take that trip, go for the promotion, or finally write that book you've always talked about. And not in a passive, "that's great, honey" kind of way, but with genuine enthusiasm, as though your success brings her joy. This level of encouragement is rare and powerful. The Stoics would call this a reflection of sympathia, the deep sense that our fates are interconnected. When a woman is crazy about you, your growth becomes a shared mission, not a solo pursuit. And in today's world, where many relationships feel transactional or convenience-based, this type of deep emotional investment stands out like a lighthouse in fog. If she lifts you without seeking anything in return, she's not just interested, she's invested. Another quiet but telling sign lies in her body language, more specifically in how often she mirrors your gestures and movements. You cross your arms, she crosses hers. You lean in, she does the same. These are subtle, unconscious actions that psychology has proven are rooted in rapport and deep connection. It's not mimicry, it's attunement. Like dancers moving to the same rhythm, your presence affects her posture. The modern man often dismisses these signals, trained to look for big declarations and grand gestures. But the Stoics taught that truth often dwells in the smallest things. Pay attention, and you'll notice that her body is speaking even when her mouth is silent. Here's another one that hits close to the bone. She makes sacrifices. Not huge ones, not the stuff of soap operas, but real, human, everyday adjustments. She changes her schedule to spend more time with you, rearranges plans to attend your son's game, or skips a night out just to have dinner with you. These sacrifices are her way of saying, "You matter." In a world obsessed with self-prioritization, making time for someone else has become one of the most underrated signs of affection. Remember, Stoicism teaches us to focus only on what we can control, and what greater show of control than willingly adjusting one's life for another? When she does this without complaint or expectation, it's not just kindness, it's love in motion. Also, don't ignore the way she defends you, especially when you're not around. Friends might mention how she stood up for your opinion in a group chat or corrected someone who tried to downplay your achievements. This isn't just about loyalty, it's about reverence. It shows she values your character and wants others to see you the way she does. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." But when a woman defends you like that, it's because she already believes you are one. And that kind of faith is not given lightly. Let's talk about humour for a moment, hers and yours. If she laughs at your jokes, even the bad ones, and playfully teases you in return, it's not just flirtation, it's chemistry. Humour is the great social glue. It lowers defences, creates bonds, and reveals shared worldviews. In modern relationships, where small talk often masks real connection, shared laughter is a sacred space. A woman who's crazy about you wants to make you smile and wants to be the reason you do. Seneca once said, It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, who is poor. A shared laugh, even in modest moments, is a treasure richer than any luxury. Don't dismiss it, cherish it. Now, pay attention to how she reacts when you're struggling. Does she lean in emotionally, offer quiet comfort, or just show up without needing to be asked? A woman who truly cares won't shy away from your storms. She'll bring the umbrella. In an age where emotional independence is often mistaken for emotional distance, a woman who holds space for your pain is offering something extraordinary, a haven. And like the Stoics who preached calm during chaos, she becomes your anchor, not by fixing everything, but by being unshakably there. Finally, consider the way she looks at you when you're not trying to impress her, when you're just being. Whether you're fixing the sink, sipping coffee in silence, or distracted by the game, those unguarded moments, if you catch her watching you then, with a kind of quiet awe or fond amusement, that's no coincidence. That's affection rooted in who you are, not who you pretend to be. In a culture that often rewards performance over presence, being loved for your quiet moments is the purest kind of love. That lingering glance says everything. So men, especially those of you in your wiser, more seasoned years, don't dismiss the subtle signs. The world may try to distract you with noise, but love often whispers. And if you learn to notice the quiet truths, to listen with your eyes and your soul, you may just find that someone out there is already crazy about you. Stoic wisdom urges us to live with awareness, to seek the truth beneath the surface, and to act with purpose. Take this to heart, pay attention, and perhaps most importantly, return the gesture, because love, in its most powerful form, is not shouted. It lingers. Sign number 3, the silent prioritization. There's a type of affection that doesn't make noise, doesn't demand attention, and doesn't need constant validation. It simply exists, quietly but powerfully, like a river carving through stone over time. It's what ancient Stoics might call tacita cura, or silent care. And in the modern world, it's one of the clearest yet most overlooked signs that a woman is crazy about you. The silent prioritization. While most people look for grand gestures or loud proclamations of love, real affection often hides in the subtle rearrangement of priorities, the small shifts she makes in her day for you, the gentle bending of her routines to accommodate your presence, or even her ability to quietly remember the things you said in passing and act on them weeks later. This isn't about her always telling you how much she adores you, though words have their place. It's about how her life starts to include you without forcing you, how she makes room for you in her thoughts, schedule, and emotions without expecting a parade in return. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the colour of its thoughts." When her actions begin to reflect your well-being without her needing to announce it, understand that you've become a quiet colour in her internal landscape. Maybe she shifts her work meetings slightly just to be home when you're free, or she starts learning about something you love, not because she's trying to impress you, but because your passions genuinely matter to her. That, gentleman, is not a coincidence, it's a silent confession. We live in an age where loud often masquerades as meaningful, but the Stoics knew better. Epictetus taught that we should listen more, speak less, and observe carefully, and this wisdom applies perfectly here. The woman who silently prioritizes you is not performing for applause. She's nurturing a bond the way nature builds trust, gradually, organically, and with consistency. Think about it. When a woman begins to shift her time, her attention, and her emotional energy toward your happiness without you having to ask, she's doing what few people do these days. She's investing, and not in a way that's transactional or filled with conditions, but in a way that signals deep affection. This is not about dependence or sacrifice. It's about consideration, a thoughtful alignment that says, "You matter to me, even when I'm not saying it out loud." She may begin cooking your favourite meal without telling you she remembered, or she'll gently push back a plan with her friends when she knows you've had a tough week, choosing to be present, not because she has to, but because she wants to be there. You won't hear her shout it from the rooftops, But if you're wise enough to notice, you'll see it in the way she listens when you speak, the way she anticipates your needs, and the way her world subtly tilts in your direction. Now here's where it gets real. Too many men miss this sign because they've been trained to expect affection in flashy packaging. But real love, the kind that holds up under pressure and doesn't falter when times get hard, doesn't always arrive with fireworks. It arrives in warm coffee handed to you without asking, in text messages that check in at just the right moment, in her asking about your mother's health because she remembered you mentioned something in passing. It's easy to overlook these gestures because they're not loud, but therein lies their power. Like the old story of the man who asked his wife every day why she didn't say, "I love you" anymore. And she calmly replied, "I told you when we got married. If that ever changes, I'll let you know." Sometimes love speaks in presence, not performance. And the truth is, if a woman is doing all of this silently, she's probably not doing it for any other reason than because she feels deeply connected to you. Of course, this kind of care demands that you pay attention too. As Seneca put it, a gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver or doer. So the next time she shows up for you in quiet ways, recognize it for what it is, a subtle but profound offering of herself. Don't wait for dramatic statements or emotional declarations. Respond to the quiet love with quiet strength. Show up for her just as she shows up for you. Mirror her attentiveness. Let her see that you noticed, not just what she did, but why she did it. This kind of mutual recognition can transform a relationship from a casual connection to an unshakable partnership, rooted not in noise, but in knowing. And yes, this advice may sound simple, but living it is far from easy. It requires a level of emotional maturity that many men develop only after life has softened their edges and opened their eyes to the value of consistency over charisma. To the men reading this, who are 35 and beyond, you've lived enough life to know that fleeting charm and superficial beauty don't last. What does last is the kind of love that builds slowly, quietly beneath the surface. The kind of love where she rearranges her life not because you asked her to, but because your happiness is beginning to feel like her own. That's the silent prioritization. It's a rare signal. It doesn't scream, but if you listen closely, it says everything. So I challenge you today, look closely. Has a woman in your life begun to prioritize you quietly, without fanfare? If so, what have you done in return to make her feel seen? Are you ready to meet her in that same energy, to build a bond not on noise, but on trust, respect, and mutual care? As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you experienced this kind of silent love? Have you missed it before and only realized later? Share your story in the comments. We learn best from one another. And if this message resonates with you, pass it on. There might be another man out there right now wondering what those quiet gestures really mean. Let him know. They mean everything. Sign number 4, the playful tease. One of the most overlooked signs that a woman is genuinely into you isn't something loud, obvious, or dramatic. It's the playful tease. You see, most men take teasing at face value. They hear a cheeky jab, a sarcastic remark, or a seemingly offhand comment and chalk it up to just harmless fun or even mild disrespect. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Teasing, when done with a smile and a sparkle in the eye, is a subtle but strategic way women test the waters of emotional compatibility. It's not just banter. It's her way of checking what lies beneath your surface, and more importantly, what you're made of when your ego gets lightly tapped. Imagine you're out for coffee, and you make a clever comment. She doesn't burst out laughing. Instead, she smirks and says, "Oh, so you think you're funny now, huh?" Her tone is playful, not sharp. That's no accident. She's watching intently, not just what you say next, but how you become in that moment. Will you get flustered, retreat into awkward silence, or worse, become defensive? Or will you lean in, smile, and volley back with calm charm and an equally playful response? That moment is a small emotional test, and how you respond says more than your words ever could. What's happening here is that she's pulling from a deeper instinct, to challenge the emotional balance of the man in front of her. This isn't about making fun of you. It's about seeing if you're unshakable in the small storms. In the same way that Stoic philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius taught resilience through adversity, a teasing remark becomes a metaphorical gust of wind brushing against your emotional armour. As Marcus Aurelius once reflected, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. That quality reveals itself in the way you choose to interpret her teasing. Are you threatened by it, or do you recognise it as a chance to reveal your grounded confidence? In today's fast-paced world, especially for men over 35 who may be navigating second chances in relationships, dating after divorce, or even dipping into the dating pool after decades away, understanding this kind of subtle social cue is critical. Many men who've spent years building careers, raising families, or dealing with life's complexities often miss these nuances. They may have built great outer strength, but neglected their emotional agility. Teasing from a woman can feel confusing if you're used to more straightforward interactions. But here's the truth. Women still want a man who can lead with confidence and calm, who can smile in the face of a jab and respond not with defense, but grace. Now, don't misunderstand. This isn't about being passive. It's not about letting someone walk all over you. Stoicism isn't about being a doormat. It's about inner mastery. When a woman teases you and you reply with a calm grin, maybe toss back a clever line, or just chuckle and say, "You're not so bad yourself," you're showing her that you're present, emotionally mature, and unfazed. You're signalling that life's little provocations don't rattle you because you've dealt with far bigger storms and come out stronger. That kind of response is magnetic. This also ties into the deeper psychological concept of emotional fitness. Just as physical fitness keeps your body strong and adaptable, emotional fitness ensures you don't crumble when things don't go exactly as planned. And believe it or not, women are instinctively drawn to that strength, not just the strength of muscle or career success, but the strength of a man who knows who he is, who doesn't break when lightly challenged, and who can even laugh at himself. There's an old saying, "If you can't take a joke, you can't take life." That wisdom rings true here, because when a woman teases you, she's not trying to undermine you, she's trying to connect with you. She's pushing gently on your armour to see if there's a man inside who knows the difference between a threat and a playful invitation. And make no mistake, it is an invitation. She's inviting you into a game of emotional flirtation, and the prize is deeper connection. If you meet her teasing with resistance, you close the door. But if you meet it with confidence and levity, you open the path to something more real. This is especially vital for men who've spent years in relationships where communication grew cold or rigid. Rediscovering the language of flirtation, especially later in life, can feel like learning to dance again. But here's the good news. You're not starting from zero. You've lived. You've seen life's highs and lows. You've already cultivated much of the emotional depth that younger men are still chasing. The key now is to remember that resilience doesn't mean being emotionally distant. It means being present, aware, and unshaken when playfulness enters the room. So the next time she tosses a teasing comment your way, don't stiffen up or overanalyze it. Instead, breathe, smile. Let that old stoic calm rise to the surface. Respond with warmth and maybe even a playful challenge of your own. Because in that moment, she's not just testing your wit, she's testing your presence. And if you pass the test, you're not just showing her that you're emotionally stable, you're letting her know that you see the game she's playing, and you're happy to play along. Not because you're trying to impress her, but because you genuinely enjoy the dance. Ultimately, teasing is one of those beautiful, hidden signs that a woman is crazy about you. It's a signal masked as a joke, a compliment dressed in sarcasm, and a door disguised as a jab. Recognize it, respond to it with composed strength, and you'll find yourself not only understanding women better, but also rediscovering a more powerful, more relaxed version of yourself. And isn't that what all great wisdom, ancient or modern, is about? becoming the kind of man who can walk through both storms and laughter with equal ease, and who knows without needing to be told when a smile is an invitation and a tease is a sign that you've already caught her eye. Sign number 5, the subtle attention to detail. When a woman starts paying attention to the things no one else sees, stop everything, because that's not normal, that's not casual, that's not random, that's deliberate, that's intimate, that's rare. You want to know when a woman is falling for you? It's not when she laughs at your jokes. It's not when she texts you good morning. It's not even when she says, I miss you. Those are words. Easy to fake, easy to repeat. What you want to watch for is the detail, the precision, the way she remembers the tiniest things you never thought twice about. That's the signal you've triggered something real, something powerful, something ancient. This isn't just modern romance, it's primal. It's embedded deep in evolutionary psychology. When a woman notices the smallest details about you, she is unconsciously signaling, I am emotionally investing. I am choosing you over the rest. And you better believe that matters. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. But here's the catch. When someone else also adopts that mindset toward you, when someone chooses to prioritize you, study you, care for you without needing to be told, that's gold. Pure gold. And most men miss it. Think about it. You once mentioned in passing how you can't stand onions in your food. She heard it once. And from that point forward, every meal she prepares or orders around you is onion-free. You never brought it up again. But she remembered. Not because she had to, because she wanted to. That's not a coincidence. That's a conscious choice, a reflection of real emotional depth. And it's not just about food. She notices when your tone sounds off, even when you say you're fine. She sees the subtle tension in your shoulders. She texts you first, not every day, but on the right days. She knows when to ask questions and when to say nothing. That, gentleman, is mastery. And that's a woman who's crazy about you, whether she says it out loud or not. The Stoics taught that greatness lies in small, consistent actions. Epictetus wrote, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In relationships, it's not the big moments that define love. It's the little, repeated signals, the gestures, the quiet, thoughtful acts that scream, I care. In today's distracted, fast-paced world, attention is the ultimate currency. Everyone's looking at their phones. Everyone's multitasking. Everyone's chasing noise. So when a woman notices you, truly sees you, in a world that's blind and busy, that's not just attraction, that's devotion. That's rare. And if you don't recognize it, you'll lose it to the man who does. Let's get real. Most men are still waiting for obvious signs. They want declarations. They want drama. But the high-value man, the wise man, the stoic, seasoned man, understands the psychology of subtlety. He reads between the lines. He sees what others ignore. That's how kings think. That's how leaders move. And if you want to be the kind of man women chase, not just choose, you have to learn to see the signs hidden in silence. This is about more than romance. It's about emotional intelligence, awareness, power. Because when you start recognizing how she mirrors your needs, how she matches your energy, how she anticipates your moods, you gain a powerful advantage. You start building a bond that's not based on neediness or performance. It's based on respect, mutual recognition, strategic care. And that's where real love lives, not in constant contact, but in conscious effort. And that effort is invisible to the untrained eye. FOMO kicks in when you realize this level of care doesn't come around often. Most women don't bother. Most won't notice. Most are too self-absorbed, too distracted, too superficial. But when you find the one who does, you must respond. You must mirror her attentiveness. You must validate her efforts. That's how you turn attraction into loyalty. That's how you go from just a guy to the man she won't let go of. And don't forget, this is her testing you too. She wants to know if you're paying attention like she is, if you're capable of depth, if you get it. If you fail that test, she won't argue. She won't complain. She'll just slowly withdraw that energy and give it to someone who notices. You won't even know you lost her until it's too late. And that's the danger. The average man assumes she'll tell him. She won't. She'll show him. And if he's blind, he loses. 5.1. So here's your directive. Start seeing what she's not saying. Start noticing the care behind her actions. Start honouring the woman who pays attention. And if you've got a woman like that in your life, don't just appreciate her. Rise to meet her. Lead the relationship. Show her that her investment wasn't wasted. Show her that you're not just emotionally available, you're emotionally lethal, strategic, observant, present. Let this truth sink in. She doesn't pay attention to everyone. She pays attention to the one she wants to keep. So if she's watching the details, remembering your stories, adapting her behaviour to suit your preferences, and responding to your unspoken needs, she's not just interested. She's all in. And if you're smart, you'll be all in too. Now it's your move. Comment below. She pays attention because she cares. Like this if you've ever missed a sign and wished you hadn't. Subscribe if you're done playing small and ready to understand women on a higher level. Share this with a brother who's stuck chasing surface-level love while the real thing is right under his nose. Because here's the bottom line. The greatest men don't just wait for signs. They interpret them. They act. They lead. Be that man or get left behind. Sign number 6. The subtle touch of comfort. When a woman is genuinely drawn to you, her feelings often reveal themselves in the quietest, most unassuming ways. Among the most profound and revealing is what I like to call the subtle touch of comfort. This delicate gesture transcends mere physical contact. It is a powerful, non-verbal language that conveys reassurance, warmth, and a deep-seated emotional connection. It is in these fleeting moments, when her hand brushes yours during conversation, or when her fingers rest gently on your arm or shoulder, that she silently communicates her affection and trust. Such touches are not accidental or superficial. They are instinctive expressions of care that indicate she feels safe with you and wants you to feel the same. This is no small thing, especially in a world where real, vulnerable connection is often hidden beneath layers of guarded behaviour and social pretense. These subtle touches act as bridges between two souls, softly closing the distance and saying what words sometimes fail to express. You matter to me. Consider how often in life we underestimate the power of touch. Science has long demonstrated that human touch releases oxytocin, often called the bonding hormone, which fosters feelings of trust and attachment. When she reaches out in this way, it's her body's way of creating a sanctuary of comfort and intimacy, a sanctuary where you both can simply be yourselves. Think back to a moment when a friend or loved one placed a reassuring hand on your shoulder during a difficult time. It instantly communicated solidarity and support. Now imagine the same gesture coming from a woman who is captivated by you. It's a deeply personal, intimate message that transcends the spoken word. The ancient Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In relationships, this wisdom reminds us that genuine connection is less about grand gestures and more about being present and authentic in every small interaction, including the subtle touch that reassures and comforts. The beauty of this subtlety is that it requires emotional sensitivity and awareness to notice. Many men overlook it because it doesn't scream for attention. Instead, it whispers. For example, during a casual chat, you might feel her hand briefly rest on your knee, or her fingers gently tracing a line down your arm. These are intimate acts cloaked in everyday normality, yet they carry the unmistakable imprint of affection and attraction. In real life, when you start to notice and reciprocate these small gestures, you lay the groundwork for trust and emotional safety. They tell you that she feels at ease in your presence, that she wants to share not only your good times, but your vulnerabilities as well. This aligns with the timeless wisdom of the Stoics, who taught that true strength lies in emotional resilience and openness, qualities essential to deep, lasting relationships. Moreover, the subtle touch of comfort is often accompanied by other silent signals. The way her eyes soften when they meet yours, the slight lean toward you when you speak, or the warmth of her smile that lights up just for you. All these clues combine to create an unmistakable message. She's emotionally invested, even if she hasn't put it into words. In the world of romance, where everyone tends to hide behind facades or play guessing games, this gentle physical contact is a rare and precious gift. It invites you to lower your own defenses and engage with her on a deeper level. Practically speaking, if you want to nurture this connection, respond to her touch with your own. A light touch on her hand or back can convey your reciprocal interest and help build that invisible thread of trust. In daily life, these small moments often go unnoticed, but their impact is profound. They serve as emotional anchors in an otherwise chaotic world. When a woman's subtle touch comforts you, it's a reminder that you are not alone, that someone sees your struggles and joys, and that she chooses to stand beside you. Relationships, especially at the age of 35 to 70, are about more than passion. They are about partnership, mutual support, and emotional security. This subtle touch symbolizes all of these essential elements. To quote the renowned author and relationship expert Brené Brown, "Connection is why we're here. It is what gives purpose and meaning to our lives." The subtle comfort in her touch is one of the purest expressions of that connection. As men, embracing and recognizing these signs can profoundly change how you approach relationships. Instead of seeking loud declarations or dramatic overtures, pay attention to the gentle ways she reaches out. Notice how her touch might soften your day, ease your worries, or remind you that you're cared for without having to say a word. In a culture that often prizes toughness and stoicism, qualities many men hold dear, understanding the power of this softness can open new doors to emotional intimacy. It allows you to be vulnerable without fear, to receive love in its quietest form, and to respond with equal tenderness. The Old Stoic Wisdom teaches us to find strength in tranquility and resilience in connection, and the subtle touch of comfort perfectly embodies these principles. So, if you find yourself wondering whether a woman truly cares, look beyond what she says and pay close attention to how she touches you. Those gentle, comforting gestures are often the clearest indicators that her heart is leaning toward yours. In real life, this means cherishing these moments and nurturing them. Don't dismiss a touch as accidental or insignificant. Instead, recognize it as a powerful declaration of affection and trust. As you grow more attuned to these signs, you'll find yourself creating deeper, more meaningful relationships built on mutual respect and emotional presence. And remember, love isn't always about grand declarations or sweeping gestures. It's often the quiet, steady hand resting on your shoulder that carries the greatest weight. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What subtle touches or signs have you noticed that revealed someone's true feelings for you? Share your stories in the comments below. Your experience could inspire others to recognize and cherish these hidden moments of connection. After all, as the poet Rumi wisely said, the wound is the place where the light enters you. Sometimes it's in the smallest, most subtle touches that light and love find their way into our lives. Sign number 7. The genuine interest in your past. One of the most easily overlooked, yet deeply revealing signs that a woman is genuinely crazy about you isn't necessarily something loud or theatrical. It's subtle, almost disarming in how sincere it feels. She takes a real, undivided interest in your past, not in a nosy, interrogative way, but in that soft, respectful, attentive curiosity that seems to say, I want to understand what shaped you, what tested you, what brought you here. In a world so fixated on the now, on instant gratification, swipes, short-term thrills, when a woman pauses and leans into your history, it's like finding a rare book someone actually wants to read cover to cover. And this kind of attention isn't just flattering, it's profound. The Stoics believed that the key to understanding a man was not in his titles or his looks, but in his character forged through hardship. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. So when she listens to the chapters of your life, your losses, your regrets, the lessons you wish you had learned sooner, what she's really doing is measuring the man you became through those trials. This sort of woman doesn't shy away from your wounds. She respects them. And more than that, she sees the man who emerged from them. You can sense it in the way she asks follow-up questions, not to challenge your choices, but to understand your transformation. She's not just curious about what happened, she's fascinated by how you navigated it. And that, gentleman, is rare, because we live in a time where image is often more valued than integrity, where people judge by what's visible on the surface instead of what's buried in the foundation. But a woman who's crazy about you, genuinely, is interested in your foundation. She's digging for your roots, not just admiring your branches. You might catch it in small moments. Maybe you mention your high school job, and she wants to know what that first paycheck felt like. Maybe you bring up your first heartbreak, and instead of brushing past it, she quietly asks what it taught you. Or maybe she notices how you always seem a bit tense in the month your father passed, and instead of making you explain it, she just offers you a gentle space to breathe. That's not infatuation. That's emotional intelligence. That's love in its early, patient stages, still whispering, but already powerful. And it's shocking how few people, even in long-term relationships, show this level of emotional investment. This is not about idolizing the past or clinging to nostalgia. It's about emotional fluency. When she values your story, she's telling you, without needing to say it, I see you, all of you. And I want to walk with the man you are today, shaped by the boy you once were. Modern life often makes men feel like they must compartmentalize. Your past, that's baggage, your emotions, bury them, your mistakes, keep them quiet. But the truth is, any woman worth her salt doesn't want a perfect man. She wants a real one. And part of being real is having lived, failed, learned, and survived. So when she shows genuine interest in the crooked roads you've walked, whether that's surviving a divorce, raising a child alone, recovering from betrayal, rebuilding your life from rock bottom, she's signalling a depth of affection and loyalty that runs far deeper than fleeting chemistry. She's saying she can handle your truth and still choose you. And this matters even more as we grow older. In our 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, we become less enamored with fairy tales and more drawn to authenticity. The allure of a pretty smile fades fast if it isn't backed by substance. And a woman who listens to your story with reverence, not judgment, is a woman who's not just into you, she's invested in you. That's the kind of partner who can weather the storms with you, the kind who isn't just there for the highs, but also for the grind, the grit, the mundane Tuesdays when nothing feels special except her presence. Stoic wisdom teaches us to focus on what we can control, to accept the events of our lives without bitterness. But it also reminds us to cherish those rare connections where someone chooses to understand us deeply. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love. And to be truly loved, one must be truly seen." When she digs into your past, not to judge but to comprehend, that's her way of seeing you. And if she stays, once she knows your shadows, not just your spotlight, then you found something rare. So what can you do with this insight? Be aware. Don't dismiss her questions about your past as small talk. Recognize them as invitations for intimacy. Don't be afraid to open up. Yes, even if you were taught to be stoic in the wrong sense, the sense of emotional silence. True stoicism is not about suppressing emotion. It's about mastering it and understanding its place. Vulnerability isn't weakness. It's strength under control. And if she's asking, it means she cares. Trust that. Show up. Share. And most of all, be honest with yourself. In a culture that often glorifies newness, a woman who's willing to understand your old scars is someone who values the whole picture, not just the highlight reel. She isn't enchanted by your surface, she's falling for your soul. And when you see that, don't run. Don't doubt it. Lean in. Because love like that, the kind that wants to learn where you've been, not just where you're going, that kind of love is rare and worth every ounce of your presence, your patience, and your protection. Sign number 8, the protective instinct. The protective instinct is one of the most powerful, yet often overlooked signals a woman sends when she's deeply, undeniably crazy about you. It's not loud, not flashy, it's subtle, primal, and relentless. When she steps into the role of protector in your life, guarding your well-being with fierce dedication, it's a declaration louder than words. You have become indispensable. This isn't some casual affection or fleeting fancy. This is her soul telling you that you matter, that your presence is sacred to her. She watches you like a hawk, not with suspicion, but with fierce concern. She notices the small things, the way you wince when you move too fast, the stress in your voice, the fatigue in your eyes, and she acts. She takes the role of your guardian, your shield in a world that can be cold, harsh, and unforgiving. Why? Because protecting you means securing what she values most, the future you share together. This instinct is ancient. It's a thread woven into the very fabric of human connection, a lesson passed down from the Stoics and warriors of old who understood that true strength is loyalty, vigilance, and sacrifice. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, taught, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In modern life, distractions, doubts, and daily battles stand in the way of genuine connection. But when she activates her protective instinct for you, she transforms every obstacle into a fortress around your shared bond. This is no accident. It is deliberate. It is profound. When she fusses over your health, reminding you to eat well, to rest, to slow down, she's not nagging. She's fighting for your longevity because she's picturing a future with you, long-term, and that future matters deeply. When she remembers your habits, your preferences, your worries, even the ones you haven't voiced, she's anchoring herself in your world, preparing to stand beside you no matter the storm. When she steps up fiercely against anyone who doubts or disrespects you, she's not just defending your reputation. She's claiming you as her own, standing guard like a warrior queen protecting her kingdom. This is a sacred act. It is a gift. She's saying, without words, that you are worth fighting for. In today's hyper-connected, but often emotionally disconnected world, where distractions pull you in every direction, and fleeting relationships make commitment scarce, the protective instinct stands as a rare, solid beacon. She's not just invested in your happiness, she's invested in your survival, your success, your legacy. This kind of care doesn't come easily. It's earned. It's guarded. It's fiercely held. If you have earned this protective instinct, you hold a treasure many men spend a lifetime searching for and never find. To ignore it is to risk losing the rarest kind of love there is, the kind that builds empires and weathers every storm. But there's a warning here too. This protection is fragile if not met with strength. If you respond with weakness, doubt, or disrespect, this powerful instinct will retract like a shield closing. Protecting you means she believes in you. It means she sees the man you are and the man you can become. As Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. She's silently telling you, be that man. Rise to the challenge. Match her dedication with your own. Don't squander this connection by complacency or arrogance. This is your call to action. Understand this deeply. Her protective instinct is not about control. It is about partnership, alliance, and unwavering commitment. She's stepping into a role that requires courage and vulnerability, the courage to care fiercely and the vulnerability to risk her heart. She's inviting you to be her equal, her partner in life's battles. The power you feel when you recognize this sign is transformative. It propels you to sharpen your focus, strengthen your resolve, and become a leader not just in your career or social circle, but in your relationship and life. Imagine the strength you hold when you accept and reciprocate this instinct. You become a fortress of mutual protection, a team forged in loyalty and trust. This is not fantasy. It's a practical truth that every successful man knows. Relationships built on mutual guardianship endure the tests of time. They flourish, they conquer, they inspire others. So here's the truth you must own. If she's showing you her protective instinct, you have a rare advantage. You have a secret weapon in the battlefield of life and love. Don't let it slip away. because you failed to recognize it. Don't let it fade because you lacked the courage to match her intensity. Step up. Own your role. Be the man she believes you are. Be the man who deserves her unwavering protection. Now, I want you to make a choice. Recognize this sign. Celebrate it. Respond to it with strength and clarity. If this message resonates with you, comment below. I own my power. I am worthy of her fierce protection. Like, share, and subscribe to join a brotherhood of men who refuse to settle for anything less than profound, unstoppable love. Remember, in a world full of fleeting connections and empty promises, the protective instinct is a beacon. Your beacon. Follow it. Answer the call. Be the man she's crazy about. Because she's not just watching, she's guarding your future, and that future is yours to command. Sign number 9. The consistent effort over time. Recognizing when a woman is genuinely crazy about you isn't always obvious at first glance. Often, her affection is expressed in ways so subtle and enduring that only those who pay close attention will notice. One of the most profound signs lies in the subtle touch of comfort she provides, that quiet reassurance in her presence, a gentle hand on your shoulder, or the warmth in her eyes that says she's there for you, no matter what storms may come. This is not about grand gestures or dramatic declarations, but a steady, calming force that quietly says, I choose you. This kind of comfort is akin to the ancient Stoic idea that true strength is shown not in loud displays, but in quiet resilience. It reminds us of Marcus Aurelius's insight. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Her subtle presence becomes a foundation, a safe harbour where your worries dissipate and your confidence grows, without her ever needing to say a word. This kind of touch is deeply reassuring because it is consistent. It speaks to the soul's need for stability and safety in a world that often feels unpredictable. Yet comfort alone doesn't tell the whole story. The real revelation is found in the consistent effort she makes over time. Genuine affection is not a fleeting flame, but a fire that she tends day after day, quietly showing up and investing in your happiness and well-being without expecting applause. It's in the texts she sends to check on you after a long day, the way she remembers the little details that matter to you, and how she patiently supports your dreams while gently grounding you when reality calls. This is where the hidden beauty lies, in her unwavering dedication that persists, even when romance feels routine or life becomes hectic. The ancient wisdom from Seneca reminds us that true happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future. A woman's ongoing effort is an invitation to enjoy that present moment fully, to share in the journey with all its imperfections and triumphs. When someone invests consistently, it shows that they see a future with you worth nurturing. In real life, these signs can be easy to miss, because society often conditions men to look for loud, visible proof of love. Yet, the most profound connections grow in the quiet spaces, in the habitual, small acts of kindness and presence. You might recall a time when a woman patiently listened to your troubles without trying to fix them, simply offering her presence as a balm, or when she sacrificed her own comfort to brighten your day. These are not trivial moments. They are the building blocks of deep affection. When she makes you feel safe to be yourself, without pretenses or fear of judgment, she is showing you a rare and precious kind of love. I encourage you to reflect on the subtle ways your partner may be showing her care. Is she consistently there when life gets tough? Does she bring calm to your chaos? These signs, though hidden, speak volumes. If you've experienced these moments, share your story in the comments below. Your insight could illuminate the experiences of others who might be searching for these quiet signals of love. Remember, as Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. A relationship built on steady effort and subtle comfort is a wealth beyond measure. Ultimately, understanding these hidden signs not only deepens your appreciation for her, but also enriches your own approach to love and relationships. It teaches patience, attentiveness, and the profound value of showing up day after day. This kind of love is not flashy but enduring, a steady flame that warms through life's seasons. So pay attention to those small, consistent gestures, the subtle touch of comfort, and the steadfast effort over time. They reveal a heart truly crazy about you, grounded in old wisdom that remains ever relevant. Let me take you on a journey most men never dare to embark on, the path to truly understanding a woman's hidden signals of attraction. This isn't about cheesy pickup lines or playing mind games. It's about learning the deeper, time-tested cues rooted in psychology and ancient wisdom. You're not here by accident. Something brought you to this moment. Maybe a past relationship that left you wondering, or a gut feeling that there's more to attraction than meets the eye. And you're right. Once you understand the subtle but powerful triggers that women use to silently communicate their interest, your entire approach to relationships changes. No more guessing, no more chasing, just clarity. As the philosopher Epictetus once said, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. In attraction, this couldn't be more true. What you observe matters more than what you say. You've just discovered 2 powerful subconscious triggers, and that's a solid start. But don't stop here. There are 7 more signs, subtle, often overlooked, and shockingly effective, that can completely transform how women respond to you. For example, number 2 will likely surprise you because it's something you've probably seen, but never knew what it really meant. If you're the kind of man who's done being confused by mixed signals and is ready to start understanding attraction like a seasoned stoic, calm, clear, and confident, then you must take the next step. Subscribe to this channel, because those who consistently expose themselves to this knowledge are the ones women gravitate toward, effortlessly. Why? Because mastery breeds magnetism. Just like Marcus Aurelius wrote, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts, and the thoughts you choose to feed yourself here will sharpen your edge in ways you didn't think possible. Now, here's what I ask of you. And it's simple but powerful. Smash that like button. Yes, do it now. Why? Because every click tells the YouTube algorithm, this is the kind of content that needs to reach more men. Men like you. Men who are ready to evolve past the surface level fluff and start diving deep into real psychology, real behavior, and real wisdom. The more engagement we get, the more this message spreads, and together we begin to build a tribe of men who don't just react to life, they understand it. Next, if you're serious about continuing this transformation, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, because next week I'll be sharing the 5-second attraction trigger, a mental switch that, when flipped, causes women to feel an instant draw toward you before you even say a word. It's something so primal, so fast it changes the entire dynamic of how you meet women. It's no gimmick. This is rooted in behavioral science, and once you see it, you'll wonder why nobody ever taught you this sooner. But more than anything, I need you to become a part of this movement. Right now, drop a comment below using one of these 3 words. Mirroring. If you've ever caught a woman subtly copying your gestures or tone, jealousy test if you've seen her pull back just to see if you'd chase, or decode if you want me to break down more of these hidden psychological signals. Your comment isn't just feedback, it's data, real-world proof, something I might feature in an upcoming video, turning your experience into a learning tool for others. Because this isn't just content, it's a conversation, a community of men committed to decoding the unspoken language of attraction. So don't just watch, engage, participate, grow. Remember, the time for passive hope is over. Take control, embrace the ancient wisdom that still holds true today, and become the man who doesn't wonder if she's into him, he knows. The next step is yours. Hey my friend, thanks for watching. Before you go, here's something simple but important. Share this video with just one buddy who needs it. Not just to support the channel, though I truly appreciate that, but because too many guys are still in the dark when it comes to understanding real attraction. One share could help a friend avoid confusion, heartache, or missed chances. Here's the truth. Attraction isn't guesswork, it's behavior. And the copycat effect? That's not just some random tick. It's biology speaking louder than words. So start paying attention. Watch what she does, not just what she says. Keep it simple. Stay grounded. Observe with calm confidence. And always remember, the body tells the truth long before the mouth does. Take care, keep leveling up, and I'll see you in the next one.